Nice to see you all. Welcome to Mindful Weekend Yoga. And today's class is going to be a Women's Day celebration. I realize it was yesterday, but it's also Women's History Month, and we might as well make it a fun Women's Day celebration, because why not? And so finding your sit bones and connecting them, rooting them downward into the earth. Finding centered, grounded, and strong. And engaging your belly and your pelvic bowl and tilting it forward, stacking your spine, rooting your hips downward and the crown of your head upward, growing tall and long and graceful and elegant. And breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just take a couple breaths here, breathing in, sitting tall, long, elegant, graceful, feeling strong, grounded, centered. Connecting with whichever of those words feels right to you, a right fit word. Maybe it's feeling whole or healed or healthy. And pay attention to your breathing. Let it nourish you, bathe you with kindness and space. And flip your palms open to the sky. Take a moment. You can close your eyes if that feels good. And checking in with yourself. And my invitation today is to check in with who you are, exactly who you are. There's a lot of conversation about who we're supposed to be and what's better and what's right and what needs to be fixed. And what if you, exactly as you are today, is just right? Doesn't mean you can't get better or there aren't things that maybe you'd like to change, but maybe it's just right. Thinking of Goldilocks, just right. And what is authentically you? What is just right about you that you don't let be seen? That you modify or adapt so you'll fit in? And what if, rather than looking at everyone else and comparing, despairing, or thinking you should be different, or listening to feedback of others, you should be more this or less that, what if you were just right the way you are? What if your work is to bring you into the world? The best, most fun, happiest, engaged, alive version of you. Knowing that that thought might be edgy. But if your weight, exactly as it is today, is exactly just right for today, and any broken parts are exactly the where they are supposed to be. Maybe they're not broken, they're just part of your journey. They reflect that you were a biker or a tennis player or a gymnast. And they're the end product of that, but they're not a problem. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And we'll bring a hand to heart and another hand to top. Checking in with that heart space, intentionally sending ourselves kindness and tenderness for all the time we spent trying to be someone else or modifying slightly to fit in or modifying a lot to fit in. Acknowledging those societal pressures and just being kind and tender for perhaps why we move through the world that way. And deciding how you would like to move through the world going forward. Might it be someone who's whole or healthy? And maybe it's mostly healthy and mostly whole and mostly elegant and mostly kind, mostly strong. What might it be for you? Choosing those intentions. Maybe you're someone that likes change and variety and moving fast. Maybe that's not a problem. I had someone ask me about whether they were searching for things always, and was it just that they couldn't be happy? And yet often some people, and I would say people like me, like to change. They like to grow. They like to evolve. It's fun. It makes them feel alive. And that doesn't mean that you're a dissatisfied person. It means that that's what makes you feel alive. And so owning whatever it is about you that you really like, that feels good to you. Come back to your breath as you do that, breathing in, filling your chest full, noticing your hands lift up with the breath and fall with the exhale. We'll take 3 more breaths here, just getting used to that idea. Letting in whatever it is that's more you that you would like to show up as. Maybe you're fun or funny. Maybe you prefer to be more quiet or not part of the crowd. Whatever it is about you that you like and enjoy, own it and allow your authenticity here. And as we practice collectively, sending a message to everyone else practicing with us to own their own authenticity, to appreciate it and welcome it and embrace it and look forward to seeing more of it. And knowing that others are offering you that same intention in this moment. And bringing your hands together, rubbing them together, creating a little heat or energy, whichever you feel is needed. And bring thumbs to sternum, fingers reach towards the sky, elbows out wide, pressing palms together with intention and thumbs into the sternum. And taking a moment to set your own intention, your own authentic intention for what would feel good for you today on your mat. And maybe it's something that you would like more of in your life. What we practice on our mats stays with us off the mat. And what we practice grows. So we can practice on the mat as a practice for life. In fact, very often people think they're practicing yoga to get better at yoga, but we practice yoga to get better at life. When your intention feels complete, take 1 more breath. And lower your hands and open your eyes, letting the light back in. Wiggle out anything that's calling to you that needs a wiggle. Perhaps roll your shoulders back 3 times, or 4, if 4 is you, and forward a couple of times. And pause at center. Stretch your legs out long and wiggle your knees for a moment. You can stay up on whatever you're on if that feels good. If you want to be on the floor, feel free. Flex your ankles so your toes point towards your knees. Press your knees downward. Hinge at the waist. Your heart shines forward, back is flat. Slide hands down the thighs to your knees and pause, using your belly to hold you. And just breathe into your back and the backs of your legs. Enjoying the sensations, letting what would like to move, move. 1 more breath here. Slide down a wee bit further if you have room. Spread your toes and enjoy each and every toe, from the big toe to the little toe, spreading them wide. And if you have trouble spreading your toes, you can get a hold of those things they use for pedicures and practice spreading your toes to train your toes. It's fun. Bringing your big toes together, slide forward another inch or 2. Point toes. Enjoy the shins and the energy shift. Flex ankles, toes come towards your knees. Slide up to a seat. Engage that belly. Dangle your arms at your side Inhale right into the heart space, into the mid chest, and reach arms up towards the sky. Most of you will be sitting on something, so you won't potentially be as stable as usual. Right thumb and middle finger grab left wrist and reach as tall as you can. Use your belly for stability. Root the hips downward. Exhale, tip to the right. Inhale, tug rightward. Exhale, tip a wee bit more, noticing you're stable and unstable all at the same time. Inhale, come back to center. Switch your hands. Reach tall. Exhale, tip to the left and enjoy every nook and cranny there. Appreciating all that your body does for you exactly in its current form. Today, there's nothing that needs to be fixed. Bathing it with kindness, waking it up, strengthening it even with kindness if that feels good. Release your hands, interlace your fingers, flip the palms to the sky and do a little shimmy. Have fun with it. Notice your feet. Toes will reach towards the sky, ankles flexed. Huge inhale, slight arch back on top of your block or your bolster. Exhale, round forward into a seated cat. Inhale, reach high and tall. Engage your belly here, slight arch back. Exhale, round forward. Press the palms towards the front. As juicy a stretch as you can, honoring every nook and cranny of your back that's perhaps done surgery, carried children, done gardening, lifted suitcases, stretching it and honoring it. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, tip to the left once again, right hip downward. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, tip left. Sending some love to the side body. Inhale, come back to center. Release hands, shake them out. Roll your arms in both your shoulders, or your arms is also fine. And we'll reach our arms out to the sides, using your belly here once again to keep yourself sitting nice and tall. Notice if you've folded into your belly, root the ischial spines downward, heart shines forward. Think of it as a big heart shining forward. Wrap around and give yourself a huge hug. Doesn't matter which arm is above or below. Squeezing as tight as you can. Have a little rock. Squeeze tighter. Sit up taller. Exhale, drop head and neck into the cradle of your hands and roll forward as far as you can on your block or bolster. Don't overdo it. Huge breath into every little spot in the lungs, every alveoli filling. As you squeeze tight, hugging yourself, releasing kindness, oxytocin, dopamine. Exhale, release. Chin back to neutral. Sit up tall. Shimmy your side body. Untangle your arms. Press them into the side walls like you're a stop sign, stopping guard. Palms reach to the sides. Pinch your scapula, sending them some love and attention and appreciation, kindness for all the tension they hold. Release. Wrap arms in the opposite direction. Huge hug. Wiggling your fingers as close to the medial scapula as you can. Lift up your elbows over your chest with kindness as well. Huge breath in, squeezing as tight as you can. Exhale, round forward, squeeze even tighter. Fold, drop your head. Huge breath in, squeeze even tighter. Envision those neurochemicals being released, circulating around. Chin back to neutral, untangle, release, stretch wide with kindness. And lower hands, clasp them behind your sacrum. Press your fists to the floor, shoulders down and back. And do a little shimmy to release any tightness in the neck muscles. Drop chin to chest and send some love to anything tight. Thanking your neck for holding up that awesome head full of smart brains. Bring chin to neutral. Press fists to the earth. Heart's going to shine forward. Gaze upward. Reaching fingers as far downward as you can. Belly engaged, legs engaged, toes engaged. Release. Press hands towards the floor once again. Gaze to the left gently with your neck. Drop your chin towards the left shoulder and enjoy the right neck here for a moment, breathing into it with kindness, never overdoing any neck thing or opting out if it doesn't work. Enjoy your neck. Lift chin back to neutral, gaze forward, gaze to the right, drop your chin, come back to the breath and enjoy the left neck, thanking it. Noticing if it's very different than the right side, it might be. Lifting chin back to neutral, come back to center, release your hands, shake them out, have a huge, lovely shake. And we will slide our knees around, coming to hands and knees, move the block out of the way. You may want to put the blocks at the front of your mat. I'm going to use them kind of in that way today, and they're optional. You don't have to use them. Come to hands and knees. Find your knees on the earth directly under your hips. Notice the tops of your feet and have a little waggle so you find your center. Spread your fingers wide, pressing palms to the floor, knuckles to the floor to protect your wrists. And notice if your wrists are not happy, readjust. And hands should be directly under shoulders. Inhale for cow. Crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Enjoy your belly and lower back. Exhale, round, drop head and neck, a huge, delicious cat. Inhale for cow, reaching the crown of the head towards the sky. And exhale to cat. Come back to neutral. Gaze your chin over the right shoulder and stick your right hip out to meet it, kind of in a sassy girl pose, and you'll enjoy your left waist. Gazing towards that right hip. Come back to center and switch sides. Left hip comes to the left shoulder and your gaze is over the left shoulder, trying to see it. Come back to center, and we'll do that once again because it's fun. Back to center and the left. Enjoying it, letting it be juicy. Drop forearms to the floor, spread your fingers wide, and come down into puppy pose, stretching your shoulders, letting it feel delicious. Forehead on the floor, arms reach forward, and enjoy whatever needs a stretch here. Because you're a puppy, you can wag your tail, you can reach your arms as far forward as they will go, and let your armpits enjoy some appreciation and stretch and attention here. We don't acknowledge them at all. And having had surgery in one of mine, when they don't work, it's really a problem. So we should acknowledge them and honor them and appreciate them. They're involved in almost everything we do with our arms. Huge breath in from your fingertips all the way to your sacrum. And exhale, let it go out your toes and your fingers. Another huge breath in here. Letting it feel amazing, connecting, reorienting to pleasure rather than what hurts. Slowly sliding your hands back, pressing into the floor. Come back to hands and knees, and we will walk our hands forwards, a handprint, curl your toes, and lift up into downward dog and enjoy it. Walk your feet, pedal the dog. Let your sit bones reach as high as they possibly can. Press into your hands. Stretch to your fullest. Don't worry what you look like. Don't worry what anyone would think. Just enjoying you. Have it be your authentic dog, which might be a shorter stance. It might be wider feet. Play with it to see what works for your body today, which might be different than other days, or what feels good. Orienting to that pleasure again. Something we rarely do. Yoga is not supposed to be work. It's supposed to feel good, actually. And it teaches us how to feel good when we're not on our mat. We tend to focus when we're not on our mat on all the to-dos. Try to lift all 10 toes, right? So you'll be on the ball mound of both feet. Your heels will likely be in the air. Lower them down. Walk your hands about 2 handprints towards your feet.
Left hand will reach for right ankle and look under that right armpit and just enjoy it. Enjoy your whole body that it can do this. Notice any shakes or wobbles with kindness. Enjoy the left shoulder and the stretch in the left back. Breathe. Left hand to the earth, switch sides. Right hand to left ankle. Gaze under that left armpit. Enjoy all the stretches. Notice if anything feels juicy, if you need to wiggle. Coming back to hands and knees. Walk your two hands on the floor. Walk your hands back towards your ankles, toes. You'll come into forward fold. Release your head and neck and have a sway. Let this feel really good as well. Bend one knee and then the other. And come to stillness. Find center. Your knees can bend as much as they want. Hands on opposite elbow. Release your hands to the floor. Reclasp them at the sacrum. Press your fists to the sky. Exhale, let your hands fall forward. Release head and neck and send some love to the shoulders. Huge breath in and out. Straight your right leg, bend your left, twist to the right, and enjoy the right shoulder. Thanking it for all it does, appreciating it, and perhaps setting an intention to honor if it's cranky in the future and take good care of it. Bend right knee straight, left, gaze to the left, same thing. Come back to center. Allow hands to fall another 2 inches forward. Release, release, release. Bring hands back to sacrum. Roll them down the backs of your legs towards the earth. Plant your left fist on the floor. Bend left knee straight, right leg, reach right arm to the sky and roll that wrist with kindness. Enjoy the right IT band, all that good stuff on the right side. Switch sides. Once again, treating yourself really nicely. Right knee, anything that is funky, just send it love. Let it be authentically you today. No judgment. Coming back to center, engage your belly and roll up inch by inch by inch by inch, reaching arms out to the side, clasping, bringing them above your head, palms together and hands to heart. And pause here for a moment, just enjoying being you. Taking a moment to notice your toes and enjoying them. Enjoy the soles of your feet, how they feel on the floor. Notice your calves, perhaps they feel a little more awake and energetic. Notice your thighs and the backs of your legs, your pelvic region, your belly, all the way up through your belly button, into that lower rib cage, into the heart space, sending appreciation and noticing everywhere, noticing something that feels good in each spot. Noticing your hands, taking a moment to appreciate all that they have done for you in this lifetime, all the skills that they have, all the things they can do, the things they have written or typed these days, the children they have held, the diapers they may have changed, the plants they have grown, the food they have cooked. Pressing the thumbs into the sternum and taking a moment to just appreciate your heart space in there, what your true desires might be. And what if it was okay to do more of them? What if that's the purpose of being on this earth? Women get much more distracted from their true purpose on this earth with the doing and the tasks and the responsibilities and who we're supposed to be. And what if it was okay to just listen to that heart space, whatever its message is, and do more of what feels good, more of what makes you special and authentic and unique? What if that's would be better for the whole world? Huge breath in
Notice if there's any throat tightness or chest tightness as I said that, and let it out. Just soften to the possibility.
Well, sorry about that. I don't know why my thing is not going off. If you ever need me, just call me.
One second, I
Oh,
fix that. All right. Reaching arms out and up once again towards the sky. Palms will come together and we'll pour down, drip forward into a forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Back is flat. Crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, forward fold once again. We're going to step back to plank. And just notice how strong you are. We tend to notice how strong we're not, but how strong you are, engaging your belly. Drop heels to the left. Reach your right arm to the sky, coming into a side plank, which is one of my favorites. Wiggle those right fingers, roll your wrist. Reach right arm over the right ear, stretching long. Huge breath in and out. Reach right arm back to the sky. Lower it to the floor, coming back to center. Take a moment to reorganize. Adjust if you need. Drop heels to the right. Left hand reaches to the sky, coming into side plank here. Roll that wrist, be kind. Reach it over that left ear, enjoying, embracing any wiggles and wobbles. And do this in your own version. If the right knee wants to be on the floor, you want to reach your left hand back a little, do what feels amazing to you. Let yoga be your own expression. I think we think it's supposed to look a certain way, but it's not. Coming back to center to plank. Press up to down dog. And pause here. Enjoy your calves. Release your head and neck if there's anything to release. Huge juicy breath in. Exhale out. Right ball mound grounds into the earth. Both palms ground into the earth. Engage your belly. Raise left leg to the sky. Exhale. Bring left leg between your hands. Cartwheeling up to warrior two. Arms will reach in either direction. Drishti, or your gaze or your intention, is over that left middle finger, gazing forward. Take a moment to set yourself up. Good message for life. Wiggle those left toes as far forward as need be, so when you bend your left knee, it does not extend beyond the ankle. Right foot is pigeon-toed, and you have what we call heel to heel alignment. Huge breath in, grow crown of the head towards the sky, fill your chest, puff it up, own it. Exhale. Flip left palm towards the sky. Breathing in. Drop right hand down the right thigh, lifting up into peaceful, graceful, elegant warrior. One of my favorites. Let those front ribs fan out and be seen. Enjoy all the drapes of your body here, all the strength of your body here. Huge breath in. Exhale, letting it out, softening, sliding into it maybe a little further. Make it an awesome, peaceful warrior. Cartwheel back to warrior two. If you have a block, here's where you may want it. Huge breath in, bend left elbow, coming down to side angle post. Some of you will like side angle with a block. Choose what works for you. You can have your left forearm on the left thigh if that feels good, or use the block. Notice your outer right foot. Stretch your right side body all the way through the right fingers, as long and tall as you can. Stretching long, letting your whole body be engaged here, seen here, felt here. Everything, even your pelvic floor, is awake. If your right shoulder or arm don't like this, you can reach it to the sky or wrap it into the left hip crease. Notice and be kind. One more breath here. lifting up, coming back to warrior two, straight that front knee. Right hips will bounce back to the right. Left hand reaches long, long, long. Drop your hand to the block, coming into, once again, an awesome triangle. And enjoy these poses today. Right shoulder reaches back, right hand reaches to the sky, if that's okay for your hand. If it's not, take another option. Roll it into the hip crease, shoulder comes back. They're all amazing. Doesn't matter. You can have your hand on your hip. Check out what feels good. What feels good today might feel different on a different day, but let it feel good. And we're going to come from here into half moon. Some of you may want to stay in triangle, totally fine. You may also want something to balance on. If you don't have a block, you can use a couch cushion rail or the bed in your room to help you balance. Bend your front knee, hop your back foot forward about a foot, grab the block and lower it about 18 inches in front of the left foot, and you'll raise your right foot up into the sky. I recommend hand on hip here and hang out here in half moon. Once again, acknowledging all the things we can do, whatever version looks good for us. If you want to raise your hand to the sky, you can. Let yourself enjoy the sort of flying, the balancing, and whatever version of this you can do. If you happen to have a wall, doing it against the wall is really lovely. I do that at Sagrada a lot. It's one of my favorite things. I don't have a good wall here. Lower the back foot. Bring the block back to the inside of that left foot, coming back to Trikonasana or triangle. Slowly rise back up. Extend your right arm behind. Both legs are straight here. Twist towards the front. Hips will go towards the front. Both arms reach towards the sky. Hop your back foot out. We're going to come into warrior one because I think on Women's Day we should honor all the warriors. Left hip tacks towards the back, right hip forward. You're square towards the front of your mat. Hands reach towards the sky. Your back heel may or may not reach the floor. Huge breath in, pouring it into your belly. Tall, strong, huge breath in. Exhale, bend the front knee a wee bit. Enjoy it. Open arms out to the sides if you have room. Come into eagle arms, right elbow under left. Elbows come together, palms come together, thumbs, whatever you've got. Reach your elbows to shoulder height. Enjoy your scapula here. Huge breath in. Exhale, curl forward. Elbows come to your belly. Drop your head and neck into the cradle of your arms. You'll notice your legs wiggle here. Be nice. Use your toes. Enjoy and appreciate those toes. They really can be helpful. One more breath. Lifting elbows up. Stretch arms to the side. Pinch the scapula together. Enjoying that release. Relax. Clasp hands at sacrum. Press fists towards the floor. Shoulders down and back. Let that heart puff forward. Most of us women don't feel comfortable with this. Practice it. Let yourself feel important, proud, accomplished. Choose a word that feels okay. For many of us, accomplished feels pretty good. Proud is edgy, takes some practice. Brave, courageous. Try on something. Press the fists, hands to the floor, interlaced at the sacrum. Arch backwards. Look up if you can. Exhale, hinge at the waist. Come forward, fold forward on the inside of that left knee. Coming into humble warrior. Your hands will reach forward. If the hands don't work, you can put them on the block. Again, here, just do what you can. Today's class is a little harder than usual for fun because we can do it and it feels good. And whatever we can't do can just be authentically not us today or not us right now. Practicing letting it go.
Sending some love to that left outer hip, noticing it working. Perhaps lifting up your 10 toes and lowering them on the floor. Notice if you're gripping. And send some love to the shoulders here. Rise on up. Hands come back to heart center, and we're going to come to warrior 3, doing our last warrior. We've done peaceful warrior, humble warrior, 1, 2, and 3, because we are awesome. Bring your hands to heart center. Feels funny to say that because women never say that. Press your thumbs into your sternum, lift up onto your back toes, and shift forward, lifting your back foot up wherever it would like to go. You can use props, you can use blocks, you can use the wall. Raise your right foot wherever works for you, and just embrace the wiggles and the wobbles in those left toes. If you want to have your arm come out to the side, you can do that. Keeping them at heart center is the most stable and centered. None is better or worse. Hands back to heart center and lower your back foot to the floor. Turn your toes to the side of the mat, and we're going to switch in the opposite direction. So we'll be facing backwards, or you can turn yourself around. Right toes will jet line to the back or front of the mat, depending which way you've done it. Left toes will be pigeon-toed. Bend your front knee, open your arms out. Coming to warrior 2 here, wiggle those right toes probably farther forward, making sure knees not beyond the ankle. Drishti or gaze, that intentional gaze over the right middle finger. Taking a moment to think about what would be authentically intentional for you right now. Where do you want to head over that right middle finger? Notice your left hand, has it dropped, bringing it back to shoulder height. Huge breath in. Exhale, sink into that front leg a little bit more, enjoying it. Enjoy the right hip. Flip right palm over. Left hand slides down the left thigh towards your knee. Reach right arm over towards the ceiling crease between the ceiling and the wall, towards the sky if you're outside. Embrace and enjoy the front right ribs, hip, side body. Fanning it open, enjoying it really, truly, fully. One more breath here, because for me, this is authentic to hang out here longer. I love it. Cartwheel back to warrior 2. Find your block if you want to use it for side angle. You're going to bend right elbow, lower right forearm to the right thigh, reach left arm over, or bring right hand to a block. It's a very different exercise with the block versus on your leg. So notice what feels good today, what you like. Bend front knee even a little bit more. Let it be juicy, a little wobbly. And if that left hand doesn't like it, hand to hip or in right hip crease. One more breath here, wherever you are. Cartwheel back up to warrior 2. Straight your right knee. Left hips are going to come back like the little teapot. Reach your right hand all the way forward. Drop down, Trikonasana. Triangle, left hand to the sky. And enjoy your triangle. Take a moment and just enjoy all the triangle shapes. Reach left hand to the sky if that's kind. Gaze upward if it's kind. Draw the left hand back an inch or 2 if it's kind. Just noticing these subtle shifts can make a big shift inside. Enjoy the breath here. Bring left hand to left hip. Grab your block, or you can use your wall or ledge here, whatever you've got. Bend the front knee. Hop back foot forward, a couple of footprints. Walk hand about 18 inches in front, right hand with the block. And you'll raise your left foot to hip height. Again, you can use a couch or chair. It doesn't have to look perfect. Enjoy it.
If you wish to reach the left hand up, feel free. Roll ankle. Lower the back foot down. Coming back to triangle here. Straight legs. Reach arms to the sky. Turn your hips towards the short end of the mat, whichever way you are facing. Come into warrior one. Whatever setup you've got. Front knee bent. You might want to wiggle your front toes a little farther forward. And enjoy this warrior one here. Enjoy the energy and the breath dripping down from the hands into the heart space. Perhaps wiggle your fingers. Maybe enjoy the calf stretch if you feel that, or the front thigh stretch if you feel that. Reach arms out to the sides, bringing them into eagle arms opposite way you did on the other side. Elbows to shoulder height. Grab thumbs, palms. Your own authentic version of eagle arms. It looks very different for each of us, depending on how long our arms are, how flexible our wrists and fingers are. Breathe into the interscapular space, appreciating all of that, those muscles for the tension they hold, bathing them with breath. Exhale, round forward. Elbows will come into your belly. Head and neck will release. And enjoy it here. Elbows back to shoulder height. Untangle. Pinch scapula together. Enjoy the deliciousness of it. Exhale, release. Lower hands to sacrum. Clasp interlace fingers. Press fists to the floor. Heart is going to puff forward, shine forward. Enjoy it even if it feels uncomfortable or different. Huge breath in here and out. Notice if it would be kind to readjust your feet if something is cramping. And if it would feel good, hinge forward at the waist, come into humble warrior. Drop, head and neck, release your shoulders, sending love to the right hip. Slowly rise up when you feel complete. Find your feet, soles of the feet, find your toes, release your hands, hands to heart center. Connect with the sole of the front foot, all 5 toes of the front foot. Lift them up, lower them down. Hop forward a footprint or 2 on the back foot. Shift into that front foot, shift into warrior 3, your version of it. You can use a block. You can bring your hands out front, hands to heart center. Do what feels good. And taking a moment to honor any warriorness within you. We often don't. And by the way, nobody listening or watching is watching you do this or knows what you're thinking. So let yourself just enjoy it. Take some credit. Most of us were taught to be humble and downplay and self-deprecate. But here in this moment, at least on the inside, own it. Whatever it is, even if it's funny or strange or weird, own that authenticity. Coming back to warrior 1, reach arms to the sky for a moment, bend that front knee, and just enjoy all the sensations. Perhaps roll your wrists. Take a deep breath. Lower hands to hips. Turn toes to the side of your mat, and we're going to come into second position. Hands on your hips. Second position wide enough that when you bend your knees and sink down, your knees will be right over your toes. Huge breath in, puff the chest forward once again. Exhale, sink down into goddess pose. Hips sinking low. You can do a little bounce, have fun with it. Lift up all 10 toes. Lower them down. If your shoulders enjoy it, you can come into cactus arms. Some of you will enjoy it, some of you won't. Elbows can come back. That feels good. Raise left heel and lower it down, and raise the right heel. Lower it down. If arms are up, lower your elbows to your waist. Puffle chest out further. Straight up into a star. Have fun. Roll your hands. Bring hands to hips once again. Heel toe your feet together a wee bit. Squat down into a yogi squat. Finding your comfortable spot. Some of you heels will be on the earth. Others of you will be like me and they don't reach. And that is authentically you. It's anatomic. It's not a flexibility thing. Breathe in, press the thumbs into your sternum, press elbows into knees, sink hips down and low. Lower right hand to the floor, reach left arm coming into a twist, enjoy it, roll left wrist out. Lower down, hands to heart center once again. Take a moment, press elbows into knees. Lower left hand to the floor, right hand to the sky. Roll wrist out in either direction. Come back to center, hands to heart center. One more minute here. Enjoying all the sensations. Connecting with the sacral region, which is your creativity, authenticity region. It's you. Noticing if there's any information there that you have been ignoring while you're here. Especially this far into a yoga class, you're more receptive and flexible. Lower hands to the floor. Straight your feet towards the front and lift up into a forward fold and pause to enjoy. Notice the sensations of pleasure moving through different spots and do whatever's needed to increase those. Perhaps hands to elbows, perhaps straight legs. Taking a minute to enjoy. Release your head, shaking it yes, no, circles, whatever tightness you might notice. And we will come down to our knees. And I wanted to do broken toe, one, because I love it. And two, because it reminds me of what many of us do as women, where we white knuckle it or break our toes to try to do the right things. And maybe we don't have to. And so re-eliciting that feeling to offer to maybe let it go. You will lift up onto your knees, sitting tall, engage your belly. Your toes will curl under. You might need a knee pad. We won't be here too long. Reach crown of the head to the sky, engage belly. Slowly lower your hips back towards your heels. When you arrive, you will likely want to untuck those pinky toes to give them attention too. Leaning back onto your toes and enjoying the stretch. It's quite intense. It might remind you of the white knuckling, the hard to breathe. Breathing into it with softness and not overdoing it, but enjoying the sensations. Noticing if you recognize it as a familiar pattern, and it would obviously not be sustainable for long times, maybe brief bits. One more breath, and if you need to lift up, do. Practicing kindness, practicing listening. Lowering hands to the floor and bang those feet, tops of the feet, on the floor as hard as you can. Enjoy it. Envision pounding whatever you're mad about into the floor with the tops of your feet. Have a little bit of fun with it. Do it extra long, more than you need. And when you're ready, sweep your feet around, coming down to your hips. Extend legs long in front. Move the flesh of your seat out of the way. Flex ankles, flex toes towards you. Engage belly. Find your sit bones, reach the ischial spines to the floor. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, round forward, drop head and neck, and come into an easy, delightful forward fold. Big breath in and out. 2 more. Slide up shins to knees to thighs. Roll yourself to the floor. Knees can be bent or straight. Unrolling vertebrae by vertebrae until you reach the floor. Let yourself arrive. Let yourself enjoy, connect with the pleasure. It's a practice, and it's not bypassing the things that don't work. It's just shifting, reorienting to practice that as well. Bring a hand to heart, hand to belly, soles of the feet together, coming into butterfly pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Take a moment here to listen. Listen to your authentic self, honor it. Enjoy the breath, the sensations. Enjoy perhaps each toe connecting, big toe, all the middle toes, pinky toe. Sensations of the soles of the feet. Enjoy the release in the hips and the groin. Notice your hand on your belly rise and fall with the breath. Listen to that solar plexus area. What does it have to say? Notice hand on heart connecting with any messages there. And if you feel no messages in any of these places, it's very likely because you haven't ever practiced listening. And so just begin to practice. 1 more breath. Bring hands to thighs, draw knees together. Walk your feet apart, knees are at hips width. Drop right knee to the floor and slide your right foot between the triangle of the left heel and the left rear end. Roll the top of the foot to the floor and the right knee towards the floor, and you'll have a delicious stretch in the front of the right thigh. Enjoy a couple breaths here. Untangle right foot, thread left foot between left heel and between right heel and right hip. Left knee lowers to the floor. Enjoy your right thigh. Envision pressing your left toenails towards the floor or left top of the foot towards the floor. Subtle little shift can feel really good. Untangle the left foot. Knees come together, feet apart at the side edges of the mat. Reach arms over your head in an easy cactus shape, if that works for your shoulders, or at a T. Knock your knees together. Drop knees to right, left knee reaches towards the front left corner of the mat. Enjoy the left hip flexor. Enjoy the line of the left side body. Noticing your heart slow down, your body settling in and integrating the practice. Bring knees back to center, knock-kneed feet at the edge of the mat. Drop knees to the left. Enjoy the right line of the body. Come back to center. Bring your feet back to hips width, knees back to hips width, arms lower down by your side, hands by your waist, heels come all the way towards your rear end. Lift up into an easy bridge, undoing the back body. Not an effortful bridge, just enjoying the stretch in the back body, reaching hips towards the sky, knees energetically together, shimmy shoulders underneath you, and slowly untuck shoulders and roll down inch by inch, unrolling the spine. Relax on the earth. Draw knees to chest and have a rock. Massage your lower back. Release hands, lower feet to the floor, stretch legs long. Come into Shavasana or final resting pose. The integration pose, letting the work integrate. If you need socks or a blanket or a bolster, you can grab that. And in Zoom and YouTube yoga, you can hang out here as long as you want. Let yourself arrive, mind, body, spirit, all here on this mat. All with the intention of surrender and rest. Take a huge in-breath. Huge out-breath and settle in. Shavasana. Feel free to stay as long as you want, gifting yourself pleasure and relaxation. If you would like to come out, gently deepen your breath. Slowly wiggle fingers and toes with kindness. And enjoy a juicy, delicious full body stretch. When you feel ready, make your way up to a seat, either rolling to one side, rolling straight up. Take a minute to do what's authentically you. Crossing legs and sitting up like we began practice. Notice your sit bones, tilt your pelvic bowl forward, align your spine, hands on knees, sitting tall. Huge breath in and out. Taking a moment to notice how you feel. Notice what feels good. Letting yourself enjoy it. Bring a hand to heart and another hand to top, capturing what feels good. Sending yourself some tenderness for all the time that we spent focusing on what wasn't good or what needed to be fixed. And taking a moment to set an intention for how you might like to move forward in a way that is more authentically you. What would be more fun? Make you feel more alive? Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. May you all have a week of fun and feeling more alive. Namaste.